Experience tranquility.
And good evening, everyone. My name is Kingdom, and welcome to another week of the Overwatch Tranquility Community Tournament. It is week 9, and I'm joined here by my good friend, the cutest guy in Shrank, Mr. Cool Sam. Cool Sam, how you feeling?
I'm feeling great. You know, for such a cute casting duo, we've got a gruesome affair tonight, as we'll be seeing the 8-0 Kommit take on the 6-2 Renovatio.
Oh yeah, and this matchup looks intense. Kommit, like you said, 8-0. These guys are dangerous. Any team coming to play them better bring their A game. So let's see if Renovatio can do that tonight.
That's right, Renovatio. Though, you know, they're looking pretty strong coming out of the gates here. They had a bit of a slow start. They dropped to both Otaku and Meteors. But since then, they've been winners of 6 straight, pushing them up to, I believe, 4th in the standings for the Discord tier tournament.
Yep, and a win streak is exactly how you want to go into playing such a high-ranked team like Kommit. And as we said earlier, 8-0. I mean, they've just been taking out everybody. Sir Andy Excess, that tank line has just been nasty all season long, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do to Renovatio tonight.
And on the Renovatio side, DC has definitely been the standout player for them. Most notably, earlier in the season, you saw a lot of his prolific Genji play. However, last week, he was pulling out the Doomfist, and boy, was he doing work against aimbots. Aimbots unable to secure a point in 3 of the 4 maps, and he ended up losing 0-4 to Renovatio. Kommit, on the other hand, picking up a solid 3-0 victory versus Infius Gaming. That tie coming due to technical difficulties. But, I mean, for Kommit, when you look at their total season, they've only, counting that tie, they've only dropped 2 other maps this entire season. They are 29 of 32 in their map differential, and that is just absolutely absurd.
I mean, that's just numbers we've never seen in Tranquility before. Out of all 3 seasons, we've never seen a team so dominant. And I'm excited to see how Commit's going to handle the pressure of Renovatio when they're hot. Because Renovatio right now, like you said earlier, has been winning games. They had a rough start at first. I agree. But winners of the past 5. And that's just exactly what you need. That's the momentum you need to cure this kind of, winners of the last 6, I believe. Apologize. But that's exactly the kind of energy and the momentum and the just mindset you want to go into when playing this team. I think this is Renovatio's best chance to take the king off the proverbial throne here.
Absolutely. So we'll be starting up here on Busan shortly, as we take one last glance for Renovatio. I think this is really much a proving game for them. They've had a relatively soft schedule when you look at some of the teams they played thus far, and I think putting up a good match here with Kommit, even if they don't get the win, could really set the stage to how dominant they can be going forward with the rest of the season.
And we are going to be getting started here on Busan. I'm excited to see this is their opportunity, as you said, and Busan is quite the map to get it started. So many different ways to go about it, but I do think, especially on Mecha base here, we will see the double shield come out.
I wouldn't expect to see too much in the way of Pharah. You might see it on downtown, but outside of that, I would expect to see a lot of Sim, a lot of Mei, a lot of Doomfist, maybe even some Reaper. Those are all fairly safe picks here for both sides. But with the high ground being so short and a lot, especially on downtown, or in Mecha base and Sanctuary, you really just don't see the Pharah play too often.
No, 100% agreed. Smugs would not have a very good time playing Pharah in this scenario, and I don't think any other DPS would as well. And that doesn't seem like what the play is going to be for either side, because, I mean, we haven't really seen too many standout Pharah performances due to the meta, even though, Pharah can take the off angle when presented, but just not too much success being had with that character at the moment.
And as these teams start to finalize their assembling of heroes, we do see Deathsuki making his debut for Renovatio tonight. He was added to the team just earlier today, and he's going to be getting the start here on the first map. So I'll be interested to see what he can do here for Renovatio.
And not sure what the plan is, if it's a meme or not. Okay, yeah, they switched off the soldier. I was curious what the soldier was going to do. But judging by the other team's comp, they are running the Tracer, Doomfist, Ball, Winston, Dive right now, which could be interesting to see. I'm looking forward to seeing how this is going to be played out.
And the spawn doors are going to be opening, and both teams are going to be heading out, starting to start jostling for a position here. So it looks like Renovatio, or excuse me, Kommit, going to be starting making their way over point. Renovatio on the other side, holding that high ground, starting to look for that dive position. You see Cream coming back here. He's going to be punched away by Axiom on the Doomfist, and it looks like Kommit has set themselves up on point. Big pull there, but a big dive in by DC. He's going to go for the punch. He's going to find nothing.
And right now,
still
Kommit
sitting
is
on
really
point.
Commit's just really bunkered down, and it's really hard for Cream to get in there as Ball without threatening to die, as well as DC does fall there.
DC going to be the first to fall here, but excuse me, Renovatio still staying with it. However, Deathsuki going to fall to the hands of Axiom. Axiom getting 2 final blows in this fight already. Honey Badger going to finish off Cream with the Moira Orb, and it looks like this fight is going to fall in favor of Kommit.
And Kommit cleaning house. That's exactly how you want to play this comp. They get control of point, and they do not let go. No matter what angle Renovatio takes, they are not gripping. They are not releasing their vice grip at that point.
And Kommit setting up in an aggressive position here, as we see Renovatio switching over to the Orisa Sigma as well mirror matchup.
And that puts them at quite a disadvantage, as both of Kommit's supports do have ultimates available, and you look at the side of Renovatio, only that Doomfist ult really available coming into this fight.
So the Coalesce is going to come out early by Honey Badger here. Shiro going to drop down from the low ground. It's fight starting to devolve into a bit of chaos. Shiro going to throw out the Death Blossom, and it's going to connect on Cream. Doomfist all coming out, and is coming down on DC, and DC is going to find nothing. Axiom finishing the kill on Progress. And it looks like this fight is still going on. Renovatio is still trying to stick with this fight, but the numbers are in favor of Kommit. DC going to finish off Axiom. He's going to punch in here.
Big double
and he's
kill
going to get Honey
there,
Badger as well.
cleaning up. Renovatio
putting the team on his back. He gets another final blow. The beat going to be committed late by Koro. That might be too little too late, as Celestia finishes the kill on Shiro, and it looks like finally Renovatio is going to start getting some ticks here shortly.
That was well played on the side of DC. He kind of picked and waited for his targets to get low, and then he went in for that seismic slam and really did all kinds of damage, causing his fight to turn. DC with a big play there.
DC using his Meteor Smash early in the fight, and he's already up to 90%. Going to have another one ready for this next fight. However, Kommit already up to 69% on the board. Nice.
And if you look at the side of Kommit, they do have both tank ults available, and those can be game changers if Renovatio does not play this defensively.
A well thrown rock by Sir Andy. That's going to knock DC down to the low ground. Mongo going to be coming out from Exus. Now, Sir Andy going to throw the Sigma ult. It's going to get a couple, but the beat's going to be thrown by Koro. So Doomfist ult coming down by Axiom. He's going to find nothing. DC going to throw one of his own, and he's going to connect with Koro. Deathsuki going to get the finishing blow on Exus. Sir Andy going to find Deathsuki, though, with Progress going to get Axiom. It looks like, again, Renovatio might be able to continue to hold here. Celestia going to throw out that Coalescence just for good measure, doing a lot of damage into Sir Andy, and that's going to finish him off, and Honey Badger's going to fall shortly thereafter. And it looks like Renovatio is in a good position to match percentage here with Kommit heading into this next fight.
And Renovatio played those ultimates perfectly. They were very patient with how they attacked, and they did combine DC and Deathsuki's ultimates there for a Doomfist Gravitic Flux, I believe. And that was just a well comboed, and that got a lot of opening picks to this fight.
So Kommit gonna drop onto point early. Cream gonna throw out that bongo, but it's gonna immediately be snuffed out by Exus. The Death Blossom gonna come out from Shiro. He's gonna get 1, 2, 3, and it looks like Kommit is gonna be able to win this fight. Axiom gonna finish off DC, and Shiro gonna finish off Deathsuki. A clean fight right there from Kommit, quickly snuffing out Renovatio.
Yeah, and as soon as Renovatio took control of that point, you kind of figured they were on borrowed time. Commit's been playing with their ultimates so well this fight, and that was just another prime example. Shiro making a mark on this game early on.
Progress has a Death Blossom here with 90% on the board. Renovatio is going to have to make some moves here. Going to really hope for a big Death Blossom out of Progress. The Death Blossom is going to come out early from Progress, and Sir Andy's just going to eat all of it with Exus finishing it off. So Renovatio are going to be down one going into this fight. Meteor Match is going to be coming out from DC. Let's see where he lands. He's going to go for Sir Andy. He's not going to finish him off. Axiom gets the blow on Deathsuki. DC doing what he can here. Shiro's going to fall to Cream, and Coral's going to finish off DC. And it looks like Kommit is just going to be cleaning up his point and taking this first map of Mech Base.
Well played by the side of Kommit. They played this exactly how you want to. They stayed together, they focused targets well, and that is a clean bunker right there, if I've ever seen one.
You've really got to wonder what the play there with Progress was. I don't mean to criticize this play, but that Death Blossom came out very early, and Kommit just had all of their cooldowns ready to snuff out anything that Death Blossom could have done.
Oh, 100% agree. I feel like Progress was trying to stop progress of this attack of the, of the defense for Kommit, but a little too eager on the trigger there, and then Sir Andy picked that up and took so much more of that damage from the from that eat there.
However, that being said, it was a great showing from the side of Renovatio there, really giving it what they could to Kommit. And as we start looking at these lineups, we see DC switching over to Pharah and Celestia on the Mercy. They're gonna rock that Pharmacy, see what they can do from the skies.
Yeah, and this is interesting. I haven't really gotten to see too much of DC's Pharah so far. His Doomfist looked impressive. Let's see how he's going to handle this aerial battle.
So Kommit gonna head straight to point. DC getting that poke damage, and he's trying to put a little pressure on the Axiom on the Doomfist. Cream gonna set up on point. A rock thrown there is gonna snuff out Shiro, and DC just gonna continue to rain damage from above, putting a lot of damage into the backs of Kommit, and they just don't seem to be bothered by it. Instead, they're trying to pressure that front line, and it's gonna pay off because they're gonna get Cream and War Rhinos. DC, however, gonna finish off Shiro. Still too much pressure and presence on the point from Kommit, and that's gonna be their ticks going in their favor.
Yeah, and even though Pharah did so much damage, already at 85% to an ult, the way Kommit played that was they just went right for that tank line, went right for that shield. Doomfist and Reaper both flanked around the same time, and when your tank line's gone, you're not really going to get very much chance of winning a team fight.
That is true. Shiro swapping over to the McCree to help deal with DC on the Pharah. Coral going to fall extremely early to War Rhino, or War Rhino's going to fall extremely early. However, the fight's going to continue. DC going to throw out the barrage. She's going to get one, but not before finishing himself off here. And it looks like, again, there's just too much presence from Kommit. Excuse me, I am wrong. Renovatio doing putting a lot of pressure, putting a lot of ults here, and it looks like they're going to be able to flip this point. Deathsuki getting 2 final blows there, and War Rhino's finishing off Koro on the Lucio.
Yeah, I mean, you got to thank the supports here for that. They've got the big res on the Orisa, as well as Moira was cleaning up lots of damage, forcing the team Renovatio to Team Kommit to back up there. And so, hats off to the support line for holding that fight down and getting point control.
Well, with Honey Badger with the Coalescence and Shiro coming up at a high noon, there's a lot of pressure that can be dealt to that Pharah here in this next fight. Let's see how Kommit can address it, or will address DC on the Pharah.
Yeah, they do have Shiro already 90% to that McCree. That could prove very useful to take out that Pharmacy early on. And let's see how this is going to play an Axiom now. Also get a killing War Rhinos.
Gravitic Flux is going to be thrown out from the side of Renovatio, but it's Commit's going to answer with 3-4 kills of their own, and looks like they're going to flip this point right back.
Yeah, it seems a common theme we've been seeing is how aggressive Renovatio is being with their ultimates, and Commit's playing it very well. I do believe if they want to turn this around, they need to be a little bit more conservative of their aggression on ults. Especially so early on.
Kommit having the Gravitic Flux, the Bongo, and the Doomfist ult here in this next fight, whereas Renovatio only has the Bongo and the Valkyrie. DC making the swap over to Doomfist, and it's gonna pay dividends here as he finds Axiom early. So Renovatio continue to make their way to point. Cream gonna throw out that Bongo, but X is gonna snuff it out right away. But that's not, it's gonna have to pay with his price. War Rhino's gonna finish off Sir Andy. And with both tanks down now, things are looking quite well for Renovatio to flip this point. So that's gonna go for the reves.
Renovatio to clean this up here as well.
Excellent pull there from the side of Cream to keep Honey Badger in there and allow for Progress on the Reaper to finish her off.
And, you know, as you're saying, from the aggression of Renovatio, I do believe Axis on that Orisa got a little too aggro there, started pushing the Orisa, not seeing that Moira, and the opposing Renovatio Moira there was there to support Cream, and that fight was lost because the main tank fell real early there. Unfortunately.
Progress scoping out the team from behind. He's going to go for a cheeky flank on the Reaper. He's going to be coming in, but the Gravitic Flux can come out from Sir Andy. He's going to find 2 immediately. He's going to slam down. And that's going to be 4 or 5 kills now. Sir Andy just cleaning house here on the Sigma. And that's going to be another flip back in favor of Kommit.
Hello, team clips of the week. plays of the week there. Sir Andy cleaning house, using that Gravitic Flux at the perfect time to take out all those low targets right after they landed.
With Kommit at 90%, Cream's going to make the swap over to the Wrecking Ball just to try and get on point. 5 seconds, 4 seconds ticking away. They're all going to manage to touch just in the nick of time, but that might be costing two people. DC and Warner is alive. Excellent high noon by Shiro. Shiro also going to finish off Deathsuki. Sir Andy going to finish off Cream, and Shiro going to finish off Celesta. It looks like Kommit is going to be wrapping up Busan with a 2-0 victory over Renovatio.
And talk about cooldown management. Kommit saw the Doomfist was trying to go in for the touch. Sir Andy hit him with the rock. Axiom tried to, the DC tried to come back with a uppercut, and next thing you know, McCree's there with his ultimate to take out 2, as well as picking up 2 more afterwards, getting a 4K there at the end.
As we look at this play of the game, Shiro with an excellent Death Blossom there, flipping that point back over in favor of Kommit. Overall, excellent play all around from Kommit. I definitely can't say I could pick one person doing more work than the other. I think collectively they're just playing cohesively as a team, playing very well together.
They're playing like a team that's 8-0. That's I think that's how you'd call that here. They're playing like a team that's working really well together.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Kingdom. So as we look ahead here,
go ahead. Not for you, my friend. No, go on by all means.
Thank you so much. Next up, we'll be heading to everyone's favorite 2CP map, Paris.
Paris, the best map in the game. If you argue with me, I will block you. Paris, the best map in the world for forcing the enemy team on defense to go to the point where you can switch to Wrecking Ball and knock them all off the map. Clearly, everyone's favorite 2CP. I mean, who could argue one of the best designs in video game history?
Now, Paris, unable to be played last week due to some bugs that allowed for some shooting into spawn rooms. We didn't want that, so it got pushed to this week. As we look at it, though, one thing I'm interested to see from the side of Renovatio that they pulled out last week with aimbots was a lot of Doomfist Bastion play. I'll be interested to see if they pull it out here on Paris, a notoriously Bastion-favored map.
100% agreed. And let's talk about some of the swaps that were made. Ice was swapped out for Honey Badger, swapped in for Honey Badger, and as well as I believe that Progress was swapped out for Sicarus, I think, perhaps. I apologize if that incorrect there, but perhaps I did get it correct because I have a giant brain. But Progress did struggle early on that Doomfist. I want to see how Sicarus is going to be able to pick up that weight for the team and see if Renovatio can turn this around for themselves.
And the tough thing with 2CP is you only need to win 2 fights to win the map. So it's very crucial to get those decisive victories here. Any bit of trickling can be quite fatal, as those respawns can be really punishing for both sides.
Oh, 100% agreed. And we will be seeing the Bastion and the McCree come out here. So this is a no-fly zone defense for sure. And side of Team Kommit having some fun playing the Torbjorn and Spawn as one will. But we will be seeing the double shield versus double shield. And perhaps there's that both teams were not ready yet. Not quite sure what's going on with that. But I think we might be having to go back to lobby here. Have some issues. They're asking in the match chat to go back to lobby because they weren't ready. But yeah, I believe 4 Rhinos was AFK. Unfortunate, but they give us a little bit more time to talk about these two teams and what a great Busan map that was.
Overall, I was particularly impressed with both teams. Obviously, both maps going in favor of Kommit, but I don't think that really tells the whole story of the kind of fight that Renovatio was putting up. In particular, it's really hard not to give credit to DC and the amount of work he was doing on the Doomfist. Getting nearly an entire ult within one fight. Absolutely absurd play from him.
Oh yeah, I mean, Renovatio looked like they could have beaten Kommit on that map. There was just a few mistakes here and there, things to tighten up, but truly the talent level on both teams, I'd say, is relatively equal.
And it's honestly just a testament as to how punishing it can be to not consider your ult management when you're going into these fights. You constantly saw from the side of Kommit, they always had at least 1, 2, sometimes even 3 ults going into a fight, so they were always prepped to pull out those Qs if needed.
Yep, they show why Discord is just such an increase of talent when it came to season 2, season 1. There wasn't really that tier available, but now we get in this tier. It's so eye-opening to see how skilled Overwatch players really can be, especially at this level where you don't really get to see too many tournaments for the Masters players / Diamond. players to really shine, it's usually, you see these small plat leagues, and then you just see like Owl or, whatever. But you don't really get to see the in-between mesh here. And I think it's really interesting to see the development of these players throughout the season.
Absolutely, it's a great feeling, honestly, when you join these teams during the early in the season, especially at the Discord tier, and you start maybe at 3,000, 3,200. You start getting in these team environments that you didn't have readily available for you, and suddenly it starts paying dividends. Suddenly you're 3,300, 34, 3,500. You're masters, maybe you're even GM. Who knows? It's possible. It's happened.
I mean, who else but Cav to create a tranquility where you can come in and just improve yourself as a player? I mean, I'll be honest. I joined Solo Cup Season 1. I was 2,100. And I've been working hard in Tranquility, and I've had great people around to support. And I've climbed, and I'm sure anyone could do that if they just put their mind to it. So thank you to Cav for creating such an amazing community as we see these two teams about to go to battle.
So it looks like we are ready to begin Paris, this time for realsies. No take-backsies, I promise.
Yep.
So as the
and
time
I do
runs down.
believe I do believe Progress needs to go onto his correct team spec as we handle that. What else? I mean, like, okay, if you're gonna go around, let's say you're on the other team right now, you're on Team Commit. How are you gonna approach this offensively when you talk about the defense that you probably will see from Renovatio?
Honestly, there's only two real ways to do this. You either try to run around the Bastion, try to get him out of position, and tackle him from there, because it's almost a guarantee you're going to run Bastion on defense Paris. Or you just tackle him head on. I've seen some interesting plays where a BAP lamp around a corner is just enough to keep a Bastion, an offensive Bastion in long enough to take out the other Bastion. Anything's really possible here.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. And they are going to be seeing a little bit of a difference from when we last loaded up Paris. They did get off the McCree, and they are on that pharmacy, so they are going to be running the pharmacy Bastion defense. I'm looking forward to seeing how they're going to handle this offensively. Shiro does switch to that Reaper there.
It looks like Kommit will be running a pharmacy of their own, so it'll be a battle of the Pharas. However, Sikaris on the Bastion is going to be dealing out a lot of damage to shields. And maybe even some enemies too, who knows.
And I love the way DC's playing this. He's kind of trying to bait the Pharaoh to come a little closer. I want you to meet our Bastion here. And he's taking any angle he wants to just try to force that aggression for Kommit, but they just aren't budging.
Shiro goes for a cheeky flank, and War Rhino meets him with an aggressive fist to the face.
And War Rhino was on the Moira last game, so what a flexible player he is for switching to Sigma now from the Moira.
Both Pharaohs continuing to poke at one another, trying to get those direct hits. Playing it very safe on both sides. No team willing to go over that roof. It looks like Kommit trying to rotate to their right side, but Sikaris gonna find the kill on Exus. Batman gonna be thrown out just to ensure that Bastion doesn't die, but he's done no real threat at this moment.
And if there's any tank you don't want to, or there's any player you don't want to fall in this scenario, it's your Orisa. Now Team Kommit is kind of stuck in this corner with the police cars. I recommend getting into the police car, maybe driving away. Not sure if that mechanic's been added into the game, but right now they're stuck.
DC started to throw some poke damage in the way of those stuck in the in that police car range. Shiro on the Reaper.
Could we have a C9? Could they get a tick off of this?
Keeping the point. He's going to get one tick.
He got a tick out of it. Mission accomplished.
And at what cost? The Sikaris is going to fall to Axiom, and Axiom going to be rezzed up. So that is a big play in favor of Kommit. And Shiro going to finish off Forsaken. Barrage going to be thrown out by DC, and Axiom just going to hit him with a rocket to the face. And it looks like Kommit is going to be able to take this first point.
And I love the way Shiro forced the enemy team to rotate when they weren't quite ready to, forced to come to point, and that would give an opening to Team Kommit to take advantage of their rotation.
Kommit was ready to pounce on that Bastion, and they surely did, and it obviously paid dividends. So Kommit wins that fight. They've got 4 minutes 55 seconds remaining on the time bank as they enter second point. Couple swaps making around here. Koro going to swap to Lucio, DC on the Doomfist, and Sikaris on the McCree.
Yeah, I mean, both teams look like they're going to have their Sigma ult available, but Cream is leading currently in the race of Orisa ults here. And I'm interested how this is going to go down. Which tank ults are going to be used first in this team fight?
Batlamp going to be thrown out early. And it's going to be a lot of damage into Sir Andy's shield. He's going to have to, it's already broken already into this fight, and it looks like Commit's going to have to back up and wait it out. Cream going to find the kill on Shiro, so with down one, Commit's going to wisely back up here. Doomfist goes in for that. DC on the Doomfist goes in for that punch, but he backs out to preserve his life. War Rhino looking for some poke damage. DC goes back in a little too aggressive, and he's going to fall. And that could be quite deadly for Renovatio. Looks like X's Gravitic Flux is going to be committed by Sir Andy, but that Bat Lamp's going to keep them alive. Axiom on the Doomfist comes in. He's going for a punch. Shiro going to find the kill on Sakura's. Matching Gravitic Flux going to be thrown out from Renovatio, but it's going to find nothing. DC gets a kill on Axiom. However, Sir Andy and Shiro getting 2 kills of their own. It's a pretty even fight here. Ice going to finish off DC. Shiro going to throw out the Death Blossom, and that's going to finish off War Rhinos and Celestia. And it looks like Kommit is going to start getting progress on this. It looks like Renovatio is going to have some time to touch, but I don't know if they're going to be able to have the numbers to contest Kommit on point. So Forsaken going to get in early, going to throw out that ult, but it's going to immediately be snuffed out. Shiro finishes off DC. Axiom finishes off Forsaken, and it's just Cream on the ball, running on point. Mercy comes in here. Celestia on the Mercy can come in, and Sakaris on the Reaper can come in. However, only Shiro has fallen at this point. Sir Andy finishes off Sakaris. And again, Renovatio existed, but they're just not getting all the picks they need right now. They're doing what they can. Another Bat Ball is going to be thrown out by Forsaken. Doomfist off from DC going to come in. He's going to get a big punch. It's not going to find much. Shiro on the Tracer going to finish off DC. The beat is going to be committed by Koro, and they're going to commit back in, but the Gravitic Flux is going to come out, and that beat might wear out in time. And that's going to be enough for 2 kills, 3 kills, 4 kills inside of Renovatio. Forsaken going to finish off Sakaris. That's just not going to be enough. And an impressive hold from Renovatio there. A very clutch Gravitic Clutch from War Rhinos. Throwing it up immediately as that beat wore out from Koro.
Yeah, and a pattern I've noticed, anytime Shiro goes down or Shiro kind of makes a play to return, Kommit immediately goes back. They're really letting Shiro kind of quarterback, if you will, the way each fight goes. When Shiro gets aggressive, the team gets aggressive. If Shiro falls, they back up. If they get a pick, they go back forward. But as soon as Shiro gets to any position that gives him an aggressive angle, Kommit is all in 100%.
And Kommit gonna run right on the point here. And looks like the Conceal gonna be punching it. Axiom punches in, but he's not gonna finish the kill. DC, however, gonna return the fist to the face.
And here comes Shiro from behind now.
Gravitic Flux gonna be thrown up by Sir Andy. It's gonna get a couple. That might be enough to finish off Forsaken, and it is. Shiro's gonna find the kill on Sakaris. Sir Andy gonna get the kill on DC, and it looks like Kommit comes storming right back. He can get 3, 4 final blows now, and it looks like that should be enough to capture this second point of Paris.
And that is all she wrote for the attack. The first attack for Team Kommit. And then, well played on the side of Renovatio, but you just can't hold them off forever there, as they really pinched Renovatio as Shiro came on the flank behind. It's a lot of pressure for the tanks to take, a lot of healing to be done for the tank line, as the opposing tank line is just pressuring Shield and pressuring, and eventually Renovatio had to give in, and Team Kommit takes advantage.
However, major props to Renovatio there. Kommit capped the first point with about 5 minutes remaining, and Renovatio was able to shave off 3 of those with only 1:45 of the time blank left for Kommit. Honestly, a very passable time bank for Kommit, but also a very beatable time bank for Renovatio. So let's see how they can respond.
And I think if any time now, Renovatio needs to make a play to be aggressive here and really force something that could possibly catch Team Kommit by surprise. I mean, Team Commit's been in this scenario 100 times, up 1-0 on the team. But let's see if they just got a little too used to this. Maybe there's a chance that they could get a little too comfortable, and Team Renovatio could take advantage of that.
And as we look at Team Commit's lineup, they're running mirroring exactly what Renovatio ran on their defense. However, on the side of Renovatio, it looks like they've opted for the Doomfist as opposed to the Reaper. No, they're actually going to switch to the Pharmacy. So it looks like they'll be running relatively similar mirror matchups that were ran on first point of defense. Just 1 round to go.
And let's see how this Bastion is going to try to get this damage. I mean, they're going to have to invest everything into this Bastion if he's going to even make it past the choke.
So Axiom looking for those initial poke damage on Pharah. However, DC going to be pressuring him out a little bit.
Axiom finding such an aggressive angle.
Sakaria is going to try to set up his Bastion, but Shiro going to immediately stuff him out. DC going to get the kill on Axiom, but not before he falls to the hands of Shiro on the Bastion. Both Pharahs are going to be rezzed, and the ammo is going to be snuffed out by DC. So again, looks like we'll be resetting here. We're just waiting for, Renovatio waiting for Sakaris on the Bastion to get back set up. A huge rock being thrown above from War Rhinos, but it's going to hit nothing but a wall.
Unfortunate.
So The Shiro on the Bastion is going to fall early here. Excellent play there by Renovatio to put a lot of pressure onto those shields and snuff out the Bastion early, and that's going to be huge for Renovatio moving forward here.
This is their moment right now. They push this point and push it fast before they can, or Kommit can make any plays to turn this fight around.
The Lamp and the Bastion are set up and good to go. Axiom going to finish it up. Sakari's going to finish off Koro. No back lamps left for either side on this team. Sakari's also going to get Axiom on the Pharah. It looks like that should finally be enough here for Renovatio to finish up this point. Shiro making the swap over to Reaper as opposed to Bastion. He's going to be able to fight Forsaken, but not before being snuffed out by War Rhinos. Celestial going to revive Bastion, and Bastion immediately going to finish off Ice. It looks like that's going to be first point for Renovatio.
Slow and steady wins the race. I mean, that Bastion was creeping up every few inches so often, and you know that really forces Kommit to try to play in that corner. That's just not where they're going to play successfully. And look at the side of Renovatio having so many ults online coming into this fight. This could be, this is Renovatio's opportunity.
Axiom on the Pharaoh with the only ultimate online right now for Kommit. However, they do have quite a few coming up. So Renovatio looking for their entrance. They decided that left side's not going to be their way, so they're going to rotate and go right down the middle. Have to be extra leery of Axiom on that ferry. He's going to be looking for that big barrage to kind of snuff out this attack. Sakari set up just barely within the confines of that ammo lamp. And with no ammo lamp now, that's a fair game. DC going to throw out that barrage, but Axiom going to throw out the returning barrage, and it looks like Sakaris is going to fall at the hands of Renovatio as well as Cream, but DC is also going to get Axiom. Axiom going to be rezzed, and with 2 people down now for Renovatio, they're going to have to keep backing up here, and it might not be before a few people fall in the process. They're doing what they can to get out with their lives, and it looks like they just might be able to. Excellent poke there from DC.
Well played by Team Kommit. I mean, they came in with so many ults, Renovatio did, and they just couldn't capitalize on any of those picks that they got earlier on.
Sakari swaps off the Bastion instead for the Tree now to help put a little more pressure onto Axiom on the Pharah. So as Renovatio looks for the regroup here, looks like there's going to be one more swap made, and that's going to be Forsaken swapping over to the Moira.
As well as Axiom does get off the Pharah here, so it's going to be the battle of the Wild Wild West between both McCrease, and let's see how they're going to approach this fight.
Shiro pressed up pretty aggressively, but he's going to be able to fade out. Trying to get an early kill here on this fight, but he's not able to find any success. And it looks like
I got a question for you, Sam. Were there Cowboys in Paris?
Oh, that's a great question. I wish I knew the answer to, Kingdom.
Unfortunate. Were the robotic horses with shields in Paris? Well, there are right now, so let's see what's going to happen with that.
Gravitic Flux is going to be thrown up by War Rhinos to help put a little pressure as Exus throws out that Bongo early. It is putting a lot of pressure. Shiro going to throw out that Death Blossom. It's going to be enough to get Forsaken. DC also going to fall to Axiom, but Cream's going to get Shiro. The Moira for Renovatio is going to be revived. Sakari's going to get the kill on Koro. And it looks like it's a pretty even fight right now. Both teams are continuing to put a lot of pressure into each other. Excellent rock there by War Rhinos to prevent Axiom from getting any more of that hole from Sigma. And Exus is the last one on the point for Kommit, and he's going to fall. So it looks like Renovatio is finally going to get some time here. High Noon thrown out early. It's going to be enough to get Ice just in the nick of time. And it looks like Renovatio is going to be doing just enough to get that point, and with a better time than Kommit.
Well played. I mean, that fight was dragged on. Again, hands off to the Mercy for getting that res on Forsaken. Forsaken then got her Moira ult, and that basically kept the DPS alive as well as the tanks in that when that Reaper came in at the flank. And so well played by the support team of Renovatio for keeping that fight alive for their team.
It shows you the power of that res. Celestia getting the res on Forsaken, and that really proved to be the deciding factor in keeping Renovatio on that point and in that fight, and inevitably taking that point with 2:34 left in the bank.
Now, Sam, do you think that Mercy res was so clutch in that moment that you consider being a Mercy main?
Oh, no, not at all. Mercy is a fun character. I can't play her. I just get on the Lucio, we'll do some wall riding and act like I'm providing value.
Oh, I mean, how else are you supposed to play Lucio? There's no heal. It's all green, never yellow.
That's exactly right. Take your notes from Red Shell, that's how you play.
Exactly, and the defense here for Renovatio, as they did get the better talent, they do have the Ashe with the Mercy Pocket available for them. So they are really hoping that that Team Commit comes out on that far, but it doesn't look like they will.
And when you look at Shiro here on the Reaper and Axiom on the Mei, Sicarius on that Ashe is going to provide a lot of ranged value for Renovatio. It's going to be huge, and that Coach Gun is excellent at repelling that Reaper away. So if Shiro tries to go in any cheeky flanks. So Kommit is looking for their opportunity to enter this fight. They're going to throw up an excellent wall there by Axiom, and that's going to be enough to cause a little bit of a rotation for.
And here comes Shiro on the flank. No one even sees him.
Shiro on the flank, he's going to get right in, but he's immediately going to have to fade out. Axiom committing his, fortify early, and Sir Andy and Axiom going to be starting up on point here, but DC going to quickly jump into the point and start raining damage from above. Andy kind of caught out here by himself. He's not playing behind the shield of Excess, and that could be dangerous as it's going to cost him his life. Excess just kind of sitting on that corner with the point by himself, using that fortify. He doesn't have a lot of time left at this point, and he's immediately going to be snuffed out.
Well defended by Renovatio. They did take a couple hits earlier on, but they did a good job rallying together and focusing targets, taking out each member of Kommit one at a time there. And what ultimates do we have available on the side of Renovatio? Definitely have the advantage. And I'm looking forward to seeing how they're going to be using this Bob, if they're going to use it just to stall point or test point or what. Not really sure what the plan is for that.
One thing you have to be careful about Bob with on Paris is throwing him off the map.
Unfortunate.
So Warren is going to find the pick on Ice early. That's going to be pretty bad, as that Moira is the key healing piece for this comp. With only 10 seconds left, Forsaken is going to throw out that Coalescence, and the Bob's going to be thrown out. DC also going to throw out the Barrage, just throwing all the ults out that they can, and Kommit is not going to be able to touch point in time. Excellent defense there from the side of Renovatio.
Well, X's Orisa corpse landed on point, so it's about as close as they got on that attack. So many ults came out from Renovatio. I do think that Bob was a little early. They could have used it in rotation, but at the same time, they did force the rotation, though the time was going down regardless. So don't know how much the Bob played effect to that, but well played, Renovatio.
Kommit played way too slow, and they just weren't getting enough value, enough damage to be able to charge up any ults. Whereas the side of Renovatio had about 3 or 4 ults going into the last fight that they could just throw willy-nilly. Committing about 4 ults there in the span of about 5 seconds, and it didn't really matter. Kommit had no answer to it. They had no counter ults.
And so now Renovatio, desperate to keep such a good record when it comes to their win-loss map percentage, are going to be coming out on the Mei Bastion. So very much bunker style. But I'm interested to see how Shiro's going to handle this Pharah, seeing as those icicles can hit some pretty decent shots on her. I'm excited to see how aggressive DC wants to play this.
If I'm not mistaken, a Mei headshot with that right click does about 150 damage. Not enough to kill a Pharah, but enough to definitely pressure her out.
Agreed. And here we go.
So Renovatio are going to stick to what worked well with them last time, running that Bastion Pharmacy. Shiro and Axiom kind of swapping it up here. We got the Mei Bastion from the side of Kommit. So DC going to start looking down main. He's going to start poking damage, putting a lot of pressure onto Excess's shield. It's going to be snuffed out early. It's going to be sent back up and immediately destroyed. Axiom just trying to run away to do what he can. And the Baptiste lamp is going to be thrown out early from the side of Kommit, and that could be dangerous here. This is definitely a go signal for the side of Renovatio, and they are taking advantage, moving up right along here.
Yep, and I love the way Renovatio is playing this. They're just inching up slowly and slower and slower, and forcing Kommit to make unwanted rotation.
Axiom on the Bastion just can't find a position to get set up. There's just so much damage coming out from the side of Renovatio. Both Baptistes are going to commit their Matrix. However, it's going to fall in favor of Renovatio. That's going to be enough for them to take the point. DC going to throw out that Fair Barrage, but it's not going to really matter. There's just too much damage. Too many picks already coming in favor of Renovatio.
Could the Mail be big?
The Mail's going to be thrown out, but it doesn't matter. Renovatio is going to set up a point, and they're going to be able to take this point. Paris, we're going into halftime tied up, folks.
Renovatio taking back Paris. I mean, they at first you kind of saw the way Kommit was just rolling through first point, and you kind of thought, oh no, we're in for the same thing. But Renovatio stayed in the game, kept focus, and their support line as well popped off.
And one of the few things you'll see in Overwatch, one of the rare things you'll see in Overwatch, is a Baptiste player of the game for stake and throwing out that Matrix and showing that yes, Baptiste can do a lot of damage.
68% kill participation for Forsaken on that Baptiste. That's just deadly.
And you look at DC's almost 30% of his team's hero damage, and he wasn't even the one playing Bastion.
I mean, wow. Well played.
So we'll be heading into halftime. I think the big takeaway there from that Paris defense, overtime defense from the side of Kommit, is they just constantly look like they're on the back foot. They kept, they had their fingers bound to S key there. They couldn't seem to find a place to get set up. There was just constant pressure from the side of Renovatio. In particular, they got the Bastion, and you've got that Fair. There's just so much damage being thrown out there. Kommit really couldn't find a position to do anything, honestly.
Yeah, a lot for both teams to talk about during this halftime, and we too will be talking about these teams during the halftime, as we will return to your Week 9 matchup between Renovatio and Kommit back in 10 minutes. Thank you for watching.
Welcome back, everybody. If you're just tuning in, you've been missing out on a thriller of a match here as we exit halftime with Kommit and Renovatio all knotted up at 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, what a matchup it's been so far. Both teams just laying haymakers back and forth. Commit's got a chance Renovatio's got a chance right now to take down the undefeated Team Kommit.
Renovatio looked pretty good on Busan. However, Kommit took both points. However, on Paris, it was a different story. Renovatio with a lockdown defense in overtime prevented Kommit from even getting a tick. And on Renovatio's attack, they constantly kept Kommit on that back foot, and they just weren't able to respond, and allowed for Renovatio to get that overtime victory on Paris.
Agreed, and I'm excited to see how Numbani's going to go. I think we are all set and ready to rock as the swaps have been made, and I'm excited to see what War Rhino is going to play next. I mean, Busani was on the Moira, War Rhino then switched to the Sigma and just had it popped off completely. I mean, what he's going to play, Doomfist next? I mean, hey, you never know.
The versatility from Renovatio on full display for Kommit. They've got a pretty solid lineup, and they have definitely been holding their ground fairly well. It'll be interesting to see what we can do with Nobani here. There's a lot of high ground here that we didn't see a lot in Paris, so it'll be interesting to see what both teams do with this extra high ground.
No, I'm not on either team, but if Renovatio had so much success playing that Bastion where they would just kind of creep up on you over a few meters of time at a time, and I want to see if they can go back to that and really just place the Baptiste lamp immortality field in a place where they can't hit it again, and just play just like that. That's exactly what I would want to do, seeing how much it really messed up Team Kommit.
And it looks like teams are going to be sitting up here. It looks like there's a call for a pause.
They are asking for a pause now. And we do get it.
So a pause is going to be coming out, but we still get a first look at both teams' lineups here. Looks like the R's are going to be being thrown out right away, so this preparation time is going to start ticking down here shortly. As we look at the comps, we see DC on the Pharah again, running a lot of Pharah today. Pretty much Pharah Doomfist exclusively. Sikaris on that Bastion. Let's look at the side of Kommit. Axiom on that Bastion. I don't know if he'll be sticking there for attack, but who knows? Sure, on that Reaper. It looks like both teams are ready, so that unpause could be happening anytime now.
Yeah, I do believe Sikaris was grabbing a slice of pizza, as one does in on a premier match for Tranquility. So you've had 10 minutes to eat pizza, but now that the match starts, I think I'm gonna get a slice of pizza.
I can't say I blame you. Where's the caster pause when you need it?
But Sikaris does come onto the Bastion, so we are going to be seeing some Bastion v Bastion action. As that's a bit of a tongue twister. As we get ready to get started here on Commit's first attack, Numbani.
Yeah, and it looks like Kommit is going to be sticking with that Bastion play. It's a bit of an interesting choice here Interested to see what they do here. Shiro on that Reaper, definitely going to be looking to close the distance and do a lot of damage. So already getting here early. Shiro looking for a flank. Looks like he's going to be going all the way around. DC throwing some damage from above, and Bastion throwing it from the side. It's immediately going to start pushing Kommit out. Their shields are already gone. The BAP or lamp going to be thrown out immediately. And DC going on the hard flank here, doing a lot of damage into their backline despite that shield being up. War Rhino's going to find a pick on Shiro, but Kommit is going to start working their way to point anyway. DC continuing to throw damage from above. They're not doing a lot to pressure him out. The BAP lamp's going to be thrown out from Kommit, but it's going to be immediately stuff out steps. Sakara's going to finish off 2, 3. DC going to get one more to ensure a Renovatio victory, but not before Kommit gets a tick.
Yeah, I mean, that fight, though as short as it was, both teams got lots of ult charge. I mean, look at the side of Renovatio. They already have the Baptiste ult available as well as the Moira ult, and Sir Andy's already 80% to the Gravatic Flux. Can't say it. But on the side of team Renovatio, they do have a good few ults as well, ready to go.
So it looks like the Commit's going to be setting up again. Bastion ult, or the BAP ult going to be going to be thrown out, but DC doing an excellent job of constantly destroying that lamp before it gets thrown out. 2 picks are going to fall in favor of Renovatio, and that is going to be just enough. Shiro falling a little bit late there on to the hands of the tank Bastion.
And both DPS ults were used there, and I don't really agree with that. At the same time, they did manage to clean it up, but I do think that DC ult was a little bit of a, or excuse me, I do believe that Sakura's ult wasn't 100% necessary, as DC was just cleaning house and had that Bastion ult ready to go from the start.
So Kommit running right down mid, straight to point this time. BAP lamp's gonna be thrown out early, and again it's just immediately snuffed out. And the duo of Sakaris and DC just keep getting final blow after final blow. I don't know if anyone else on the side of Renovatio has even gotten a final blow at this point.
I don't think anyone on the side of Team Kommit has noticed that there's a Pharah shooting them from every angle possible. I mean, they've just done nothing to take out this Pharah, but that could be changed here as Axiom does switch onto the Pharah and Koro does go to the Mercy.
I mean, when you look at it, Shiro is at 75% to his Death Blossom. DC's already used that barrage, and he's up to 75% on his next barrage. It just shows how much value the DPS out of Renovatio are getting against Kommit right now.
And Commit's kind of knocked themselves into this hole. Not sure how they're going to handle this scenario, but there is just 1 minute remaining on the clock, so they're going to have to do something relatively soon.
So Renovatio stuck under, Kommit stuck under Renovatio. Renovatio going to be thrown out by Sir Andy, but 2 people have already fallen. Shiro going to throw out a big Death Blossom. That's going to get 3, 4 before taking down. It's just Cream left and the Mercy Celestia, and it looks like by the skin of their teeth, Kommit is going to be able to pick up this first point of Numbani.
Well played, Shiro. I mean, that's a clutch play right there, to say the least. It looked like it was all Team Renovatio right there until that Death Blossom was unleashed, picking up 4, and well played.
It was a slow charge Death Blossom from Shiro, but the payoff was humongous.
Humongous, ladies and gentlemen.
So it looks like Renovatio going to continue to stick with their lineup, as well as Kommit heading into the second point. Axiom going to get the kill on Celestia early, and it's going to probably cause Renovatio to back up. Excellent boop there from Axiom to keep them around a little longer. However, Sakaris going to get the kill on Kuro. Shiro getting Forsaken, and Sir Andy finishing off Sakaris, and looks like that might be enough for Kommit to keep this payload moving. Exit's going to get Cream, and it's just DC and War Rhino's left, and he's going to keep backing up. They're going to have to give space here. They cannot take this fight. War Rhino's trying to do what he can to maintain his shield and health here. He is going to manage to get out with his life, but the payload continues to move forward for Kommit.
As the payload continues to move, Sikaris does get off the Bastion, goes to the Ashe, which was just so successful last time we saw Sikaris on the Ashe. And they are just trying to, do as much damage pressure down this hallway as they can so this cart can get moved. But they aren't really moving car. There they go.
So Ice going to throw out that Coalescence early. The Gravitic Flux going to come out from War Rhino, so it's not going to finish off anything, though. Sakaris going to get Shiro on the Ashe, but not before Sir Andy finishes off DC, and Axiom finishes off Celestia. And it looks like Kommit is going to be able to do enough here to continue to finish off these kills and take this second point. So after a bit of a slow start on their attack for first point, Kommit has really kept that payload moving here. as they enter third point here with about 2 minutes 50 seconds remaining.
Yep, and right now, Team Kommit is in the driver's seat 100%. They have the ultimates online that they need to take this, but I want to see how Renovatio wants to play this last-ditch effort for a defense hold.
DC making the swap over to the Doomfist. We've seen him do a lot of prolific Doomfist carrying tonight. Let's see what he can do here. BAP, Matrix, and Lamp going to be committed from the side of Renovatio. They're going to continue to keep pressuring the shields of Kommit. Forsaken going to find the call and show. Axiom going to throw up that barrage. It's going to be enough to get two. The res is going to come out from Koro onto Shiro, but not before DC gets a kill onto Ice. And it's a pretty even matchup here. Only DPS and healers remaining. They're going to be able to revive Cream.
Yeah, that's a big res from Celestia there.
It looks like Renovatio is going to be able to hold Kommit here on this third point.
And with just a minute 56 remaining on this attack, now the power has shifted over to Renovatio, who does have that Bob ready to go, as well as Graphitic Flux and and Doomfist ult, as well as a Wrist ult. So they are 100% in the driver's seat, but Shiro has been making hero plays all game long, and I wouldn't put it beside him to do it again here.
Axiom making the swap off of Pharah onto the Doomfist. The Bob going to be thrown early by Sakaris, but 2 kills are going to fall in favor of Kommit here. Make that a couple more. War Rhino's going to throw out that Gravitic Flux, but it's going to be too little, too late. Shiro throws out that Death Blossom for good measure, and it's going to finish off both supports. It's just War Rhino's left. He's running away as best he can. Sakaris on that Reaper. It looks like he's been caught out of spawn a little early, and that's going to be enough for Kommit to continue to push this payload all the way through.
Oh, and a Charlie Niner there. DC desperate to make any kind of chance of survival. Does use the Doomfist ult, and that clears up space for them to get the final few meters they needed, final few inches they needed, whatever, to finish up the map.
And it's always important to remember, as Doomfist, when you commit to that meteor mash, you do not count towards payload progress or stoppage. You know, you're pretty much gone from the map until you return down with that fist.
Yeah, I mean, he did the mash, he did the meteor mash, and it was his whole team did have a graveyard smash, unfortunately. As sorry about that. Team Kommit does clean that up with a minute 6 remaining on their attack.
Honestly, I got to give a lot of praise to Kommit there. Looking very much like they might have gotten full held there on that first point. However, that huge Death Blossom for Shiro was the catalyst they needed, and they just kept that momentum going all the way through. They believe they only lost one fight, and they're still able to finish, from after first point, and they were able to finish with time still left in the bank.
Well, we do have a little bit of a team fight going on here, but in the spawn of Team Renovatio, but it seems like the fighting has stopped as the team has come together and understands they are on the same team, and they're ready to set this attack off onto Team Kommit. Sometimes you just gotta fight with your teammates, Sometimes
it's bound to happen. It's all about that conflict resolution. And as we get a look at this team, it looks like Renovatio is sticking with their favorites, as they've got DC on that Pharah and Sakaris on that Bastion, showing even on attack that they want to run this Bastion, whereas Kommit's got the Doomfist Reaper.
The Bastion, like I said earlier, Sakaris has been just so dominant on that Bastion. Why not hit them again and see how they're going to handle it?
It paid off for them well last time. Shiro going on a bit of a flank there, but he's going to have to fade out. And it looks like Renovatio sitting up in that hallway, allowing for Sakaris on that Bastion to do as much damage as he can. Axiom goes in for the punch, but he doesn't find much of anything. Gets dangerously low, and DC finishes him off. DC continuing to just shoot rockets from that side, just completely unchecked by the side of Kommit. I think they're too focused on that Bastion to worry about the Pharah. Looks like trading blows are happening, but it looks like it's inevitably falling in favor of Renovatio. Coalescence is going to be thrown out by Ice, but the barrage is going to be thrown out by DC. It's going to be enough to finish off Sir Andy. DC is still in this one. He's getting a lot of damage, poke damage from Ice on that Moira. Shiro going to be coming from above to provide a little bit of pressure. That's going to be enough to finish off Celestia on the Mercy. It looks like DC is going to have to get out, but not before Axiom hits him with a headshot.
It wasn't clean, but it was what they needed. Team Kommit managing to hold on to the first point there, as that fight does go into the favor of them. At what cost? Celestia does have that Mercy ult ready to go, and let's see how aggressive they want to be with all that extra healing.
DC making that swap off of Pharah onto the Doomfist, providing a little bit more frontline pressure from the side of Renovatio. No changes being made from the side of Kommit. So Shiro going to be sitting up close, putting a lot of damage into that shield. DC going to go for a punch in, immediately get out with his life still. And they're setting up, Kommit setting up close against Renovatio. A lot of damage, a lot of cooldowns being thrown from both sides. It's kind of a bit of a mess in there. DC finds the kill on the Excess. Sir Andy finds the kill on the DC. Shiro throws out the Death Blossom. It's enough to get Sakaris, but he's eventually stunned out of it. Bongo going to be thrown out from the side of Renovatio. Celestia going to revive Sakaris. It looks like really committing a lot into the, or excuse me, Renovatio committing a lot into this. Gravitic Flex thrown out from more Rhinos, but he finds a whole lot of nothing there. But Renovatio continues to move forward and provide pressure onto the side of Kommit.
Oh, and
Axiom tries to
Shiro on the
provide
flank.
Sakaris, provide pressure on Sakaris, but Sakaris is going to finish off Axiom, and he's going to throw out the take ult. However, Sir Andy is going to immediately hit him with the Gravitic Flex, going to slam him down. However, he's still in it, doing what he can to stay in this fight and provide damage on that tank ult. Royal Rhino's going to finish off Koro. Shiro going to get DC. But the most important thing to note here is that Bastion is still on the point, but Kommit just collapses onto Sakaris on the Bastion and finishes him off. And it looks like, despite their best efforts, Renovatio is not going to be able to finish off this fight, and Kommit is going to continue to keep their hold on this first point of defense.
I'm going to be honest with you. That was a whole lot of fighting and not a lot of killing for quite some time there.
A lot of damage being traded from both teams, but not a lot of kills.
And hats off to you, Mr. Samwell, for being able to see what was going on in that tiny little choke that Team Kommit was fighting through. Renovatio is going to have to change the plan, and they do switch off the Bastion, goes onto the McCree, and with Team Kommit having so many ults on the board ready to go, it's going to be vital that someone on Renovatio steps up and makes a play.
This is definitely an uphill battle when you look at the ultimate economy of Kommit versus the ultimate economy of Renovatio. Ice throwing out that Colossus, he's going to get two immediately. The meteor match going to be coming out from DC. It's not going to find anything. Ice gets another one, and a clean sweep right there. Actually, only War Rhinos on the Sigma is able to escape with his life. And with 20 seconds left, this Renovatio is down to their last straw here. But Kommit has 4 ultimates online going into this last fight.
And look for Shiro to make a big play here. I'm sure he's feeling it. He knows exactly what they have to do, exactly where they're going to be, and he's playing just for it as he's plotting out this ultimate ability.
Renovatio heading under, but War Rhino's going main by himself, and that's going to be proved to be dangerous here as Axiom gets 2 kills. Death Blossom going to be thrown out, and it looks like it's just kill after kill, a clean sweep team fight kill right there for Kommit, and that is going to be Numbani.
That is well played by Kommit. I mean, that's, like you said, we've talked about it in the past. They're 8-0 for a reason. This team is dominant when it comes to clutch scenarios, and right there was one of many moments, especially on Numbani, that we saw it. I mean, look, Shiro, by the way, if this wouldn't have been possible without that 4K Reaper ult 2-take from the get-go. So hats off to Shiro for making a play for his team.
Shiro definitely swung that momentum in favor of Kommit, and it definitely carried over into their defense, putting a full hold on to Renovatio.
And let's talk about the DPS for both these teams have been just playing just so well, and it's really been back and forth slugfest. DC on the far as well as the Doomfist just dominant. Sakaris on the Bastion earlier on was just disgusting and doing whatever he really wanted. And then you look on the other side with Shiro and Axiom, I believe, putting in the work. And we are going to be having a switch here as Ice is switched out for Honey Badger as we go into Watchpoint Gibraltar. Sam, what's your opinion on Watchpoint Gibraltar?
I liked Watchpoint when it was a dive map. Now you just see a lot of double shield Bastion, and honestly, Bastion is not my favorite.
What maps did you not see double shield Bastion?
Yeah, that's a fair point, but I think the double shield really enables the Bastion on this map more so than other payload maps.
I think in this current meta, in today's Overwatch, I think there's only 2 good maps, in my opinion, and that's Ilios and Lijiang, and both of them are good because I get to play Rec. But I mean, all jokes aside, though, Renovatio is definitely reeling right now. Kommit has a chance to 3-1 them, but Renovatio has been put in a situation this season multiple times, especially earlier on in the season when they were 0-2. They seem to have had to bounce back.
They've had quite a few tough matches or close matches. I believe in particular they had a 3-2 victory over Prodigious earlier this season. They're no strangers to having those clutch abilities, taking it to map 5. It's certainly possible here. They've looked excellent, in particular in the first half. The second half was a little slow out of the gates. Let's see if they can turn it around here heading into Watchpoint.
And as both teams get ready to get started here, kind of settling down, why don't you tell everybody about the Iris podcast, something we both enjoy to watch and comment on as much as we can.
Absolutely. If you're interested in seeing some more specs, hot takes, or the soothing voices of Nitsal, Ski Free Yeti, and NPC,
Recent edition of Thuggington.
And the recent edition of Thuggington. Tune in Monday, September 30th at 8:30 p.m. This will be an excellent Iris podcast as it is the fantasy draft edition. They're going to be bringing on some guests, including Juke, who's kind of taken over as a moderator admin, formerly of Aimbots, and Smirk of Invictus. So it's bound to be an interesting episode. I'm interested to see what kind of fantasy draft stuff. More importantly, where you and I get drafted, Kingdom.
Oh, we're going to go number one. We're both going number one together. We're holding hands as we both get drafted number one at the same time. But, I mean, what a star-studded lineup. We're going to have Juke coming to the Iris podcast. Juke, one of my favorite people, one of the cutest people in Tranquility. Hey, Sam, one of the cutest, all right? It's all right. You're okay. But, you know who's not going to be okay is whoever doesn't get drafted.
Oof. That's bound to happen. There's only so many players that can get drafted. Unfortunately, there's not room for 16 fantasy teams. But alas...
and let's not forget, Cavalier will pay you $1,000 for drafting him. So don't forget about that. If you don't draft him, you may or may not be admin banned from the Tranquility. But that's just up to you to decide. Figure out what happens with that as we load into this Watchpoint Gibraltar matchup.
Ooh, and quite an interesting composition coming out from the side of Renovatio, running a dive composition in 2019.
Ladies and gentlemen.
You're bound to want to tune into this one. It'd be interesting to see what they can do here.
And I think this is really smart on the side of Renovatio to really try to hit Kommit with the curveball like they did on Paris. Because they will not be expecting a Winston Ball dive comp going into this fight, and looking forward to seeing how they're going to handle this. Progress didn't have the best of times on this first map. See if he can turn that one around in the Tracer.
I'm interested to see what DC can do on the Genji. He's been known for having quite a prolific Genji. See if he can get any big nano blades. Axiom going in for an early punch, but he's going to immediately be snuffed out by Renovatio. They're going to get that first kill right away, and they're getting right on the point, putting a lot of pressure on to Kommit, and it's going to work out as they've already gotten three more final blows. It's just Honey Badger and X is left. X is doing what he can to try to get back to spawn, but he's getting a lot of pressure put into his face. Axiom going to find the punch onto Progress. That's going to be the first kill for Kommit.
Yeah, and talk about making a statement right now. Detsuki, first game in Tranquility, getting the opening kill to start off that team fight, and he's been popping off all night.
Shiro teleporting up to the high ground, trying to put a little pressure on the Detsuki, but he's gonna have to the Renovatio wisely backing up here. Shiro doing what he can to get back to point. Progress is moving forward in favor of Kommit, but a huge pulse bomb from Progress.
A Tracer roll, ladies and gentlemen. Remember those?
DC gonna finish off with 2 more final blows of his own, and it looks like that is gonna be another team fight victory in favor of Renovatio.
Brings a tear to my eye to see a Tracer roll back into Overwatch. Thank you to Renovatio for bringing us that beautiful spectacle of a play right there. Thank you to Progress.
Tracer's Pulse Bomb being buffed in a recent patch, taking its damage to make it a little more lethal against tanks. However, he got a support and a DPS there. So Kommit working their way back on the cart, trying to keep that forward progress going. Shiro working his way up to high ground with the Axiom. Detsuki making an interesting jump, but a Nano Blade is going to come out from the side of Renovatio, but he's only going to find 1, make that 2, and it's just X is left on point, and DC is going to finish him off. That's an excellent 3K from DC, and Renovatio doing what they can, keeping this fight, and trying to take this to a map 5 here. There's 2 minutes remaining left for the side of Kommit on their attack, and DC and Renovatio are just snuffing them out with this dive composition.
Renovatio is in the driver's seat right now, and they're hitting Kommit with a curveball. So let's see exactly as Cream is going to ult very early on. Not really sure where that ult was.
Interesting minds there. It doesn't find too much. Axiom gonna get that final blow onto War Rhinos. That's one of the first picks we've seen from the side of Kommit in a while. And Axiom gonna get DC next. Shiro gonna throw out that Death Blossom. He's not gonna find a whole much of anything. Celestial gonna get the kill on Axiom. Shiro coming in, just wiping out Cream on the Wrecking Ball. It looks like Kommit is doing what they can now. They've won enough. They got enough final blows. They should be able to take this first point.
Yep, they do get the first point, and I was looking back. I couldn't find where Cream threw his ult. Turns out it was in the back stairs by the big health pack, so not quite sure what the plan was there, but they are unfortunately losing the point to Kommit, as Kommit will continue to push forward.
It shows that even at the Discord tier, people are still prone to those accidental fat fingers, if that's what happened. I certainly hope it was. Axiom putting a lot of pressure onto Cream, forcing out that shield early, but Celestia going to finish off Axiom. That's a first pick in favor of Renovatio, and DC going to finish off Shiro next. So Renovatio going to start hard committing here. Coalescence being thrown out from the side of Renovatio. Exus doing a lot of pressure. He's kind of caught out of nowhere here. Cream rolling in on the Wrecking Ball. He's going to finish off. That's going to be 2-3 more kills. Axiom going to get a 2 for his own, though. And it looks like both teams are going to back off, but Renovatio did the damage there.
Yeah, Renovatio doing a real good job slowing down the progress. On the side of Kommit, they do have those ultimates available and ready to go. And they have been doing great job with ult management and ult usage all night tonight. So I'm excited to see how they're going to handle this upcoming fight.
Keep your eyes on DC here. The Nano Blade's up, but Koro's got that beat ready. So let's see what they can do with that. The Nano's going to be thrown out. Nano Blade's going to come out from side of DC. He's going to immediately be snuffed out by Kommit. Beat, fist, rock, everything thrown at him, and he's just immediately deleted. Honey Badger going to commit that coalescence. He's going to finish off progress. Shiro going to go with Rhinos, and Honey Badger going to finish off Cream, and Kommit going to keep that payload moving now. Holy cow!
Melts in the chat for that for that Nano Blade, please. Give me some melts, please. Thank. But in all seriousness, well played on the side of Kommit, playing so cautious, really making sure that Genji doesn't get any kind of value.
So Kommit going to try and take this last fight, prevent them, Kommit from getting that second point. X is going to get Cream early, though, with that Bongo providing the extra damage that Kommit needs. Deathsuki going to throw out that Primal, and obviously that's a bit of a late Primal there. It's just going to be feeding Kommit a lot of ultimate charge. So Shiro going to throw out that Death Blossom for a good measure, but it doesn't matter as most of Renovatio has already been finished off. It's just Cream left from the point. He throws out the mines. It gets Koro, but it's just Cream left, and that's going to be second point in favor of Kommit.
Yeah, I don't think Cream used that. I don't think it was Cheeto Grease that time when it came to that ultimate. He did try to stall it out, but unfortunately it didn't work out for him, as he is going to be switching to the Orisa now, as you're going to go back to some double shield fighting. But, you know, we enjoyed our time on Dive today.
It was an excellent play by Renovatio. Some of the best dive we've seen in a hot minute. Probably the only dive we've seen in a hot minute, but nonetheless, they played it excellently. So Kommit here setting up on this corner, providing a little bit of that initial poke damage. A couple ults from the side of Kommit coming up here. That Honey Badger's got that Coalescence ready, and Sir Andy's almost got that Gravitic Flex.
And Progress and Shiro, both Reapers, are kind of having a stare down right now.
So the Nano going to be committed to DC. He's going to get Koro, but he's going to get slept. He's doing what he can here to finish off. Axiom finishes him off, though. Progress gets the kill on Exus. Gravitic Flex went up from Sir Andy. It's going to slam down. He's not going to get kills, any immediate kills. Looks like Renovatio backing up.
And we might be having some technical issues, but we are going to continue casting as if you can see what's going on, hopefully. But
Renovatio commits in for that Meteor Strike. However, he's not going to find anything. Kommit is wisely backing up here. And they're just kind of waiting things out here, waiting for that next shield from the side of Exus. Exus is going to throw up that shield. Both teams are going to start running into each other a little bit here. Axiom does a little bit of damage on the Doomfist, but he gets out. Progress getting on a bit of a flank. He's going to be punched from the Doomfist back into the back lines of Renovatio. So each team continuing just to poke at each other here. A lot of shield damage, havoc to one another. Probably one of those exciting gameplays you'll see of Overwatch in a minute.
Both teams are shooting each other's shields, and you know this is what's so exciting about Overwatch, is the shield damage. We just love watching shields get damaged. But Progress right now is getting pressured by Excess, who's forced to use the Reaper ability to. And Honey Badger picks up a double kill, but Shiro then does take out Celestia, and Progress does take Sir Andy, but Shiro just cleaning house with the 3K, and that seems to be all she wrote. Oh, not yet. Now it's all she wrote. There was a little bit extra PS at the end of that, the what she was writing, but now we know for sure that was all she wrote.
There's a lot of poke between both teams. Honestly, it just felt like more than anything Kommit was just charging up those ults and throwing all of the ults that they could at the side of Renovatio, and Renovatio just didn't have an answer for it.
And you know that's something that can be discussed between either team. It's something else that some of you trankers might want to discuss, is the International Meetup Days. How excited are you for this?
I'm actually very excited. I'll be heading down to Kansas City, getting to meet a few friends on the Meteors. I'm quite excited to finally meet them IRL and tell them how bad they are at Overwatch.
Hey, I mean that's not the point. It's just you just go to bully them in real life since they can't mute you IRL, you know.
I would have loved to. I've heard through the grapevine that you, Kingdom, will be heading over to Chicago.
I am. The Chirac squad is going to be playing in the Overwatch tournament that's going to be held there, and it's for $2,000. So I will be, spending some money on my good friend Sam, buying some more clothes just so he could stay being the cutest member of Tranquility. But make sure you guys come on down. There's all kinds of locations, Minneapolis included, Chicago, Kansas City, as we said previously, Washington, D.C., SoCal, Dallas, Toronto, and even Cincinnati.
And if there isn't any of those locations close to you, if you want to take that step up and be a host and reach out, I don't think it's too late. Time's running thin. It's October 19th is the official meetup day. But get out there, meet your teammates, meet some new people from the community. Honestly, it's going to be a great experience.
Speaking of great experience, let's see how this attack for Renovatio is going to go as DC gets punched right off the high ground immediately as he tries to poke Axiom.
A bit of a funny play there, but nonetheless, Kommit just sets up on the high ground as Kommit continues to Renovatio continues to hit that payload forward. However, Kommit gonna drop right down. Shiro getting that kill on War Rhinos, who's on the Lucio now instead of Sigma. DC gonna get the kill on Axiom, and it looks like it's an even trade down for both teams. Let's see what happens here. Kommit kind of holding their ground as the payload continues to move forward in favor of Renovatio. Kommit now reeling here. Excellent pull there from the side of Renovatio. That's going to be enough to do a lot of damage to Sir Andy, and that's going to finish him off from Deathsuki. So Renovatio continues to move forward. Shiro almost gets punched out by DC, but luckily he TP's just in the nick of time.
And Renovatio right now is rolling through this first point. As you saw, Team Kommit has struggled against that dive comp, but right now Team Commit's not interested in doing any kind of trickery. They're going to keep beating him with what they've been beating with all game and keep with that double shield pressure.
Shiro gonna drop down, but immediately fade out as there's so much pressure from the side of Renovatio. However, to make that 3 kills now are gonna come out from the side of Renovatio. That's gonna be enough for them to help secure this first point. That Coalescence being thrown out from Honey Badger, it's enough to keep his team alive, but it's not enough to win the fight. As Sir Andy falls to Deathsuki and Cream falls to Exus. DC finishes off Honey Badger, and that's first point for Renovatio.
And Renovatio using their ultimates a lot better than what we saw early on, especially on Busan. This team has learned from their mistakes during that halftime and really implemented change. And that's exactly what you got to do if you want to stand up to a team like Kommit.
So he's looking at the ult economy. It's currently in favor of Renovatio as they've got that Doomfist ult as well as the Reaper ult. From the side of Kommit, they don't have anything on, but that's not to say they're too far out.
Yeah, both tanks will be available for Renovatio for this upcoming fight. Looking forward to seeing when Cream wants to use that bongo, give us a little bongo solo there, and really show everyone how talented Cream really is at playing the bongo. Progress
and War Rhino set up on the top of that spaceship while the rest of Renovatio sits on that point, keeping that payload moving forward. The Progress gonna come from the top rope with the death box, and that's gonna be enough to find 2, make that 3. Oh my gosh, shades of John Cena there from the top rope.
Yeah, I think he did like a triple backflip on the way down. I don't even know Reaper had that in his kit, but he did. He did the whole. Everyone was screaming. It was crazy. I mean, hats off to Progress for making a big play.
So that is going to be second point for Renovatio.
Exus, Honey Badger, no! Oh, I had so much to live for.
You hate to see those late spawns, but it's better than giving up that ult charge to the enemy. So Renovatio cruising and bruising here. 5:15 left here in this third as we enter this third point here. Definitely in a great position to finish with a better time bank than Kommit.
Agreed. I mean, they're just rolling right through. It's over 5 minutes to go still at this final corner, and then it's just a straightaway right here.
X is throwing out that bongo, and Sir Andy following up with the Gravitic Flux, and that's going to be enough for 2 kills to fall in favor of Kommit. And Renovatio doing what they can to try to get back to spawn without any more casualties. However, sure, going to throw out that death box. He's going to pick up, but he's going to be enough to find DC, and Cream going to get punched out by Axiom.
And Axiom right now doing all kinds of work on that Doomfist. I mean, we're talking about Shiro all game, really, with this Reaper play, but Axiom's been holding more than his own on that Doomfist.
Absolutely. If only he could have gotten those montages in before the Team Kommit roster reveal trailer here in Week 8.
Unfortunate. I mean, there's no better team reveal than the Lego Star Wars reveal from the Tough Luck one. Personally, I have to say, a little biased. No, whatever.
So Sir Andy gonna throw, that Doomfist ult gonna come out from the side of Axiom, It's not going to get any kills, but the uppercut following is going to be enough to finish off Cream. And again, Renovatio is going to have to work their way back to spawn here and try to limit their casualties. However, 2 more have fallen.
As we are getting to get to the 3-minute 50-second mark, Team Commit's really come to a they're going to hold this corner, and Team Renovatio has come to a standstill, unfortunately. But we are going to see what the play is going to be. Cream now creeping up, see what the play could possibly entail. They do have ultimates available to go for this fight.
Gravitic Flux is going to be thrown out from Destiny. He's going to get 2, but Koro's going to throw out that beat to negate any of the damage. Celestia going to throw out that Coalescence. Meteor Mash coming in from DC. Not going to find too much. Shiro on that flank is going to try to provide pressure on Cream, but Cream's going to be able to finish him off. However, Honey Badger going to get 2 final blows of his own. Axiom going to finish off Celestia, and it looks like, again, Commit doing what they can to keep themselves winning these fights.
And Deathsuki does take out the Axiom there, and Axiom, to that point, I don't think he's died in quite some time, but Renovatio has done a good job of taking him out effectively there, as they are racing to get back to that corner because they do want this up 1-man advantage, and we're going to see how this is going to be played out.
Looks like Progress going over top, going for a bit of a flank here, but looks like his teleporter doesn't quite go where it wants it to. Shiro set up on that other high ground to try and provide pressure. It looks like Renovatio continuing to move forward. However, Honey Badger going to throw out that Coalescence early. Andy going to hit the rock on DC. That's going to finish him off. And again, Renovatio having to give up space here as they're down 1. Make that 2, 3. And again, Renovatio just they try to take these fights. They get picked once, start pressing their S keys, and Kommit is just capitalizing on it.
Yeah, Commit's done a great job of slowing down the session. I mean, remember Renovatio took this point with 5+ minutes to go, and now they're down to just over 2. I mean, well played by getting refocused and ready to go. Axis does have that bongo available, and Shiro does have an opportunity to maybe come from the top rope as well as Progress did, but get a big reap-roll in the backline of Renovatio.
Looks like Renovatio caught him early, so Shiro continues to back up. He can't take this fight yet. However, he is going to drop down. The beat's going to be thrown out early from Rhinos. Death Boss coming out from Progress. He's not going to find too much. DC going to find the fist onto Shiro. However, DC finds the Gravitic Flux going to be thrown out from both teams. It looks like it's going to do more damage from the side of Renovatio. It looks like it's just Axiom left from the side of Kommit now. He's going to immediately be finished off. So the payload, after about 3 or 4 minutes now, is finally moving forward for Renovatio.
Oh, and this is the opportunity for Shiro to make a play to save his team as we are coming to the end of this cart progress. And now it's all up to him to see what he can do here.
Shiro looking for that Death Blossom here. He's going to throw it out. He's going to be doing a lot of damage. He's going to be able to finish off Celestia, but not before 3 kills fall in favor of Renovatio. Axiom going to find the kill onto DC. Progress can finally finish off Shiro here, and Axiom finally gonna finish off Cream. It looks like these pretty even fight here, but it looks like it's slowly going in favor of Renovatio. But these respawns are gonna be coming in for Kommit, and that's gonna be enough to fend off Renovatio.
And they do get the switch onto Reinhardt just to get there as fast as they can, as well as Ball. And then both tanks will be switching back as there are only 37 seconds remaining left in this fight. Can Renovatio make things to a map 5? Or will Team Commit remain undefeated and hold them here at the end of Watchpoint Gibraltar?
The thing with those comp switches is it resets their ultimate economy for those tanks. When you look at, Renovatio, they got a lot of their tank healths aren't too far off here. However, with just 15 seconds left, they've had a few picks earlier, and now they're going to be struggling to get the point in time. 10 seconds left here. They're going to have to start pressing the WQ soon. Cream waiting on that next shield. His shield wasn't thrown far enough. They're going to have to move past his shield to be able to touch point, and Progress is going to be snuffed out by Shiro. Gravitic Flux is going to be thrown out from the side of Renovatio, but the beat is going to immediately cancel any of that damage. Matching Coalescence is going to be thrown out here. Let's see, both doing a lot of healing and a lot of damage. Axiom finishing up Deathsuki and DC, and it looks like that's going to be just enough for Kommit to be able to finish off this point of Watchpoint Gibraltar, and by the skin of their teeth, Kommit wins this one, wins this match, wins the series 3-1 against Renovatio.
I mean, teams played their hearts out, but it was just that defense, that clutch opportunities were presented for Team Kommit that just weren't there for Renovatio. But hats off to Team Kommit, remaining undefeated, 9-0, going into next, and they're just going to continue to keep the train rolling as we see that Genshi played a good play, which is so nice to see after such a long time.
Overall, I have to say, that was one of the first few times this season that Renovatio has actually looked, or excuse me, Commit has actually looked beatable. Renovatio putting up an excellent fight, all around great performances. Obviously, DC was a standout player from the side of Renovatio for Commit. Honestly, it was pretty balanced all around. Axiom, however, on the Doomfist was providing a lot of value for Commit.
Oh, 100% agreed. And what a matchup we have today as Commit, as we said, remaining undefeated, but Renovatio falling to 6-3 now, which is still, a good record. Don't get me wrong, but Renovatio does look really like a dangerous team as well as.
As we look forward for Commit, they're going to have the bye week as they were intended to play Aimbots. Unfortunately, Aimbots folded. So Commit's going to have a week off to reflect on this match, take what they can from the VOD reviews. For Renovatio, they'll be up against what I think is going to be a fairly interesting matchup, as they'll be taking on Invictus, who recently picked up Falcon and Melts, two highly touted free agents for the Discord tier. So it'll be interesting to see how this extra week of playing will help them moving forward. I think that will be an excellent match to watch next week.
100% agree. So well played, and I think on behalf of the cast, I think we are ready to wrap this one up. Again, GG's around for everybody.
So, with a final score of 3-1, Commit takes the victory over Renovatio to improve to 9-0 in the Overwatch Tranquility Discord tier tournament. As we said earlier, be sure to tune in Monday, September 30th at 8:30 p.m. for another edition of the Iris Podcast. Until then, I've been Cool Sam69 alongside Kingdom. We hope you've enjoyed tonight's match, and hope to see you soon. Bye!
Bye!
Experience tranquility.